Welcome to Geek Nerd Tech. Today, Uber self-driving car actually killed someone. More Black Panther news. Let's get it.
You are tuned into Black Hollywood Live's Geek Nerd Tech.
Yeah. Welcome to Black Hollywood Live. This is Geek Nerd Tech.
Yep.
I am Akili Shine, your host for today, and to my right is my brother and main man, Ryan Hollins.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
You almost pulled your mic voice out on that, man. Like that was low key.
Hey.
You couldn't help that. That's a natural artist in you, man, jumping out.
Yes, sir, man. Well, hey, good to have you, man. What's up with you, man? We in La La Land and it's raining, man. Everything good? You moving and grooving?
Yeah, man. I think we should pray for Los Angeles. You know, we have some light drizzle. It's about 70 degrees outside.
Clean air, my man.
Folks are losing their mind.
Clean air, my man. I appreciate it. I love the contrast and change, man. It's like it's inspirational. Hey, but I'll tell you what is also inspirational is some of these topics that we're about to run through, and I want to get your takes. But let's start up, man. Facebook. This is huge. Their stock plummets almost 8 points. Literally, they lost $43 billion in market capital when a Trump link analytics firm obtained the personal data of 10 million users on Facebook. So essentially, users' identity was essentially used illegally, and because of that bad news, Facebook lost, like I said, $43 billion in market capital. So my question to you is, why do you think that happened? And how can Facebook be more buttoned up where their intellectual property or their user's identity is not exploited illegally?
Well, for one, there's so much currency going around on Facebook.
Yeah.
And when we say currency, right, it's not always money, right?
Yeah.
Currency is information is currency.
That's right.
And you pretty much get locked into a system where you put in your number, your name, your birth date, social security if you want to purchase some stuff or be a part of other programs. So there's a lot that gets so involved in Facebook, man.
Yeah.
So it's an easy spot for, I guess, would you call these electronic terrorists or for prey?
100%. I mean, you got to think that when we hop on a platform, or like if we go even in the real world, when we go to a point of interest, a place of interest, a restaurant, a business, whatever, we want to feel like we are safe in that environment. We are safe in that business. Same thing on a platform, because our business is carried onto that platform, all of our personal information. So the platform has to have the responsibility to protect that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's our privacy. It's the information that is literally our footprint, our digital footprint. So the fact that that information can easily be siphoned off or exploited or manipulated in a way that is destructive, like, yeah, that would make me like retract stocks.
Let me ask you something though.
For it.
So do you think that there's a social obligation for Facebook to invest into a higher security team?
Oh, you already know.
Drop the ball at them? Or is it that you got these terrorists out here that are so powerful that they can essentially hack Facebook, or the government's been hacked, or anything at will, to where, hey, this is just part of this cyber territory?
We know about, that there will always be attacks. There will always be, the threat of someone hacking into something. Like, whatever innovation that is made technologically where you try to protect something, there's always going to be someone that's going to outsmart you and figure out how to unravel that. So I think that ebb and flow of, protection and unprotection is always going to coexist. Like, I think that's just how the universe is made. You have good and evil, right? You have the polarities, you have the opposites, and so you have that force. However, I still think it's the responsibility of the user to be careful what information they put on the platform, but also ultimately the responsibility of the platform, because they have their terms and conditions of what you can and can't do. But hey, we're also protected legally that you can't just exploit our information or not protect our information. So yeah, it is on Facebook. It is on the platform.
Word.
They should be investing more money into security measures.
I wonder how long it took them to figure out that somebody hacked the platform. Like, how long was it like, whoa, why is our information getting used, or why are we losing money out of our bank account, or like, who caught this? Did you get enough of the story? Like, I'm interested to know, like, what set this off, And like, what's going on? Like, this is a big deal, Akili.
Hell
Or
yeah.
is it? Yeah, but is this not a big deal? Is this
No, it is
just
a
something
big
that could
deal.
happen anywhere?
No, it is a big deal. It's a big deal because it does happen everywhere. It happens in multiple arenas and multiple institutions. Like we are in the age of cyber terrorism. We're in the age where people can take the identity of someone and utilize it in an exploitive way. So I'm sad to say it's becoming more normative than not. But because it's become more normative for us to be attached to our devices and our social media. Like it's a part of who we are now. Like your Facebook, your digital footprint, like I said, is a part of who you are. But again, go for
Let
it.
me
Bro.
ask you another.
Go for it.
I'm interested. I want to pick your brain on
You're
this.
picking my brain, bro.
No. So, is this pushing to a spot? Because my mind is running, where we will, as a government, have to invest in a cyber police, because just how we, whose obligation does it ultimately lie on? Because if a thief or a robber comes in and steals from your home, the police come and get the bad guy.
Absolutely.
That's they serve and protect.
Absolutely.
And I know there's programs now with the military where there's a cyber team that they're bulking up to essentially fight this global cyber war from terrorists trying to hack into the White House or different systems. So is there anything different, or are we pushing to a point in our society where there will be actually like cyber policemen that crack down on these terrorists because they are terrorists that want to get your accounts? Like,
I
what do you think?
I think we already have that. I think we have that obviously in, the CIA and the FBI, and we have it within some of these infrastructures of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google.
But is it their obligation, or is it?
It is their obligation
These
because-
police, these cyber police or entities to.
It is our obligation because ultimately, if people aren't safe or their information is not safe on the platform that they use, that attacks the bottom line of that platform. Because I'm not gonna rock with you, Facebook, if I know that my stuff ain't safe. Like I'm not gonna come on the platform.
No. So I'm saying it's almost like the Wild West. When somebody breaks into our home, we don't go, man, we should have just got the shotgun and killed them, or we had to put up our fence. It's like, nah, police, you serve and protect.
Well, I think it's the same workflow. If someone breaks into my home, I'm gonna file a police report. I think the same thing happens. Like if someone breaks into the infrastructure of Facebook or a bank or a hospital, like there's going to be a filing of a police report. The FBI is going to be called. So I think that type of government support is already kind of associated with it.
So it sounds you're likening this to Facebook kind of leaving their front door open and saying, hey, we got burglarized.
Pretty much.
Okay, we need to tell on the people who did this, but you didn't take the correct precautions.
Yeah, but they will. So we got burglarized. They cut the chain. They cut the lock and chain on the gate. But now we have a different gate now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We're gonna move on though. I want to pick your brain now, because we talked about this last time on the show about how self-driving autonomous vehicles have the ability to have discernment, right? They're able to say, well, I'm not going to hit this because it's a human body. Well, here is the first case of a self-driving car, and it's actually an Uber car that actually hit a woman in Arizona. So the woman was on her bike, and the vehicle hit her and killed her. She died. And so my question to you is, man, what does this say to this space of autonomous vehicles? Does this say that, hey, we're not there yet, we're not ready, or is this kind of just like a weird scenario that happened? Or is the technology, obviously the technology needs more perfecting, but should we have it on the road?
Well, clearly, for one, we're not there yet. And I know we talked about my experience in a self-driving car, but there was a driver in the car with his hands ready and watching.
With this case.
No. I don't know what happened with this case.
With this case, there was a person, a human being in the car as well that could have taken the steering wheel.
That goes on a person.
No way. It was in autonomous mode. They put it, the person put it in autonomous mode. So the vehicle is in control.
Akili. So clearly this isn't proven technology yet.
Most
because it's not proven technology that we can all safe to say and assume, and the developer should have known that, I'm not going to play around with a human life. So that goes on the person, because we haven't tried out the software that doesn't get confused within the metal or the object or the shape or the speed that says that I can hit this object, or I'm not going to pick this object up. I had a situation similar. When I was in a self-driving car, the driver who was there had his hand near the wheel. And we were falling into a situation where there was a dad and there was a little boy riding a bike.
Yeah.
And the little boy, obviously, he's a little wobbly on the wheel. He's probably 4 or 5 years old riding the bicycle. And at that moment, the driver immediately got out that self-driving mode, because if there's some chance that the kid falls over in the street, he's not going to be run over. So that's completely Achilles on the driver.
Really? So you're saying in this case, where I put this Uber in autonomous mode, where it's driving me around, and because it made a mistake and hit a woman, that it's my responsibility as the driver. That's what your argument is?
Life is so precious, man. Life is so precious that if you don't have 100% vested, this is like my life, dog. Like my mother, my daughter, my sister, my cousin, like my mom. We don't know what that woman was to somebody. So you got human life in hand, so that before you throw something on the road, it is your obligation to try this out with something that will be picked up.
But they have been trying it out. I mean, this is the first time someone's been killed.
Well, maybe that
out
person,
of probably like a million rides.
Maybe that person, I'm not experimenting with somebody who's not a trained professional. So maybe that should have been a stunt lady.
But what do you mean a trained professional? It's an autonomous vehicle. Like you put in the program.
Clearly
Hey, I'm going here.
it clearly shouldn't have been on the road. Clearly shouldn't have been on the road to that capability. There's no questioning that. It took a life.
Like you just said you were in one. There's
and
tons of autonomous
we were going
autonomous
around
vehicles on
side
the road.
streets, and it was on the driver. The driver took the discretion to say, this technology isn't where it's supposed to be, and then grabbed the wheel and said, I'm not comfortable with this situation. We're not gonna experiment with this kid's life to say, it can pick up a human being. Didn't experiment. So clearly there's an obligation to the driver to know where you're going, and I'm sure you can simulate a human life, or you can put somebody that's padded up that can get hit by a car at 40 miles per hour riding on a bicycle, and see how they get picked up on the detection, where he knows he's going to get hit at 40 miles per hour, kind of like a test dummy.
Well, hey, I got to say this is interesting. I mean, I halfway agree with you. I feel like, in theory, the autonomous vehicles will become a part of our society one day. I don't believe that we've reached that point.
True.
I feel like it has a lot of bugs and a lot of specific things that need to be improved. But I do feel that this is not a good look for Uber. It's been such a long string of just bad publicity for the company of Uber. And this is just another one. It's like, man, they can't catch a break. And so my last question to you, so had this been a Google vehicle that did this, do you think that the blowback or the outrage or the shock value would be higher or the same?
I think you lost human life, but I do agree that you see Uber trending in the wrong direction. I don't know who, maybe you do, if there's a face of Uber, if it's a group of shareholders, if it's a group of greedy people that are just trying to make more and more money, and until the big lawsuit comes out, or they really actually start losing money, because the product's still getting used. You still have women getting raped. You still have kids getting lost. You still have these abuse cases that happen through Uber, these nightmares that get covered up or just get paid off. And what is it going to take for them to actually acknowledge what's going on? But Achilles, it sounds like as long as they're making money, it's not really a big deal.
Exactly.
They're not worried, right? They're not worried about
Exactly.
that. And unfortunately, in this case, a human life, man, and you can't downgrade that. And I'm sure there's a way. Like I said, you could have padded somebody up. You can buy your own test course.
That's right.
And put people in a
They've
real life
done
simulation.
that. They've done that. That's the point. They've done that. And it's like to say that, okay, because you go to driver's ed, you get your permit, you get your license, you go through all the proper training to be able to be licensed to drive, doesn't mean you can't still make a mistake as a human. Machines are just as valuable as humans. Something could short wire or short circuit that could tweak the what you programmed it to do. So in 100 million cases where it would have pressed the brakes down and saved the woman's life, like maybe this time something happened.
I'll give you something.
Okay, go for it.
When you get on an airplane, what happens?
What do you mean?
How often is that plane checked?
It's checked probably every time it lands and every time it goes up.
Diagnostics?
Exactly.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Is there any difference
the
with
law.
these cars?
I'm sure there is.
So
I'm sure
laws
there is.
need to be put in place.
No, I'm
or
sure there
still
are.
being structured.
I'm sure there are, though, is what I'm saying.
From where? I've never heard. We would have known. We would have geek nerd. We didn't
Oh,
know.
I know for sure. We couldn't just have an autonomous vehicle out on the streets without it being some type of law to either say you can do it or you can't do it. There has to be some type of specifications that will allow that vehicle to be able to be autonomous. You can't just say, hey, I have one. Let me just go whip it. No, there's definitely protocols and laws that are in place that protect us as users, us as people that are in this space, shared space, and the companies that have the technology.
I'm not getting what I want from you. Let me ask you one thing. Let me ask you one more thing. It's 4 a.m. You get a phone call. Pops is in tears. He's hysterical. That's your mom who got hit by the car. What's the next step? How do you feel about the situation?
Bro,
and I don't feel like I'm not saying that to say that you feel any lighter about it. But what steps do you take? You're the family.
I feel like putting it on those terms. Like I have an enormous amount of empathy for the woman and the family of
Not
the
to say
woman
that you don't.
that
That's
lost
not,
her
yeah.
life. It's just like,
Yeah.
man, she's just minding her own business. She's on her bicycle going somewhere, and you get killed by a car that's not driven by a human. I feel like there has to be some type of additional legislation that helps to either protect, to protect the people that need to be protected, which is all of us. And
What are your steps though?
What do you mean my steps?
You get that phone call.
There has to be some type of
After grieving, what are your steps?
Some type of legislation that's passed that has to ensure greater protections.
So you're gonna go and fight for that. You're like, yo, this is happening. Like not even a question. You're gonna make sure that goes through.
I mean, it's like saying because someone got hit by a car that we shouldn't have cars. Like we're not gonna make that argument. Like we need to make cars safer. So I think that's all this is an argument of. We need to make sure that if we're going to use the technology for autonomous vehicles, we need to make sure that they're as safe as can be. Because a plane is also an autonomous vehicle. It's half the flights that you go on, the majority of the time, the pilot's not flying the plane is flying the plane.
So don't you think though? Don't you think that since we've kind of gone through this tried and true space with planes, where I'm sure a lot of the first planes crashed, people died. Think back to the Titanic. People got on a ship that was too big, it crashed. A lot of people lost their life. That we're stepping into this new place. We're stepping into this new realm. So don't you think that we should have been better than this?
No, I think that this is bound to happen with any form of technology that is especially in the shape of transportation.
Knowing what we know, that's not negligence?
No, it's not negligence because it's going to happen. There's always going to be accidents, man. There's always going to be something that you can't prevent at that time, and that's how you have innovation.
You don't want, if that's you?
No.
You don't want Uber's head?
That's a part of it. Hey,
Mom, your cousin is gone.
Unfortunately, it's collateral damage. There's always going to be someone that gets injured
I
or
don't
hurt
think
or killed because of something that we created.
I rationally hear you.
It is what
but
it
I don't
is.
think you have that reaction.
I think no. I have. Like I said, I have an enormous amount of empathy for the woman and her family.
I don't think that
but
you don't.
But at the end of the day, bro, that does not mean because a woman got killed that we should say, well, autonomous vehicles should never ever happen.
That's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that
because you're not saying.
I'm
nothing.
saying that the law.
You're just asking questions.
I'm saying that the law should be more. No, I just don't buy your response.
So
I'm saying the laws
what's your response?
should be more in place. I'm outraged that we spend $1 billion on all these things, or you're a multi-billion, you're $1 trillion company, and you couldn't make sure this darn thing was safe. That we have the technology that you should know if it's gonna hit a monkey or a rat, a test human, whatever.
You hop on a plane. There's plane crashes. You hop in. You have a car.
Name the last plane crash.
Bro, there's plane
Left
crashes
eye?
all the time. Really?
I'm trying to think. It's rare. And that was a little crop duster.
This is rare. This is the first time it ever happened. This one time.
It's inexcusable.
It's rare.
No, I'm upset.
Okay, but you're not giving a take, so we're going to move.
I gave you a take. I said it's inexcusable.
No, so what should happen?
They need for one to pay off this woman's family for the rest of, to an unrealistic extent.
Well,
there's no cost on that.
That's obvious. It's going to be lawsuits. Okay,
You know how these big companies work.
What should happen with autonomous vehicles in the space?
They should have to build their own site where they go and have these. Well, apparently it ain't good enough. Well, they need to step up and they need to invest more money into this because their lives at hand.
Okay,
before you take this crap on the road.
So you're saying the same thing I'm saying. Thank you. Anywho,
you didn't say that.
Are you into cryptocurrencies?
I understand what it is. I haven't hit it and understood it yet. I know there are people that are making a lot of money
And
on
losing
this.
a lot of money.
Yes.
Well, this story is pretty interesting because already Facebook and Google has banned advertisements for cryptocurrencies and ICOs, initial coin offerings. And so Twitter now is stepping up to the plate saying that, hey, we're also going to ban any type of advertisements for cryptocurrency. So starting in January is when Facebook prohibited the ads, and now Twitter is taking an aggressive stance to say also now that you can't have ads about cryptocurrencies because they're deceptive, they're not regulated, you can lie, you could exploit people with misinformation. And it's just like me saying, hey, you should buy this cryptocurrency, Ryan. Ryan spent 50 grand with me. And I just take your 50 grand and then you don't hear from me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so because I'm advertising that on the platform, who's responsible? Is it the
platform?
Exactly. So Twitter, like I said, along with Facebook and Google are saying you can't do that no more. You think that's a good move?
It's a great move. Because it's the Wild West, man. This whole tech industry is crazy. It's out of the box. I'm glad that there's a level of legislation that's stepping forth. And like, imagine being in that, because they're giving you the promise of what? Man, you can trade out this. You can be a millionaire. I took $10,000 and made $1 million in cryptocurrency, and then I sold it out. Like, so you're getting these promises, right? And all you have is the rich,
Man.
and you got the poor now.
Exactly.
And there's a lot more people losing than winning. Safe to say, right?
That's right.
Golly.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that is winning, and I think this is a wonderful story. So we talk about all the time on the show 3D printing and how we have come to the point where we can use various materials to build amazing things and with 3D printers. And so now you can build a house, my man, with a 3D printer. You can build a house in less than a day for $4,000. This is pretty cool. We're talking about a 600 to 800 square foot house, like I said, for $4,000. And it comes with like environmentally conscious, environmentally suitable materials. It's not reliable on potable water. It can operate in multiple conditions, weather conditions. Like, I think this
What
is...
material is it made of?
So it has, let me pull it up. It has material that generates solar energy. So
The whole house makes solar energy, huh?
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Does that mean it's
It
burning hot?
has zero waste, high thermal mass. All the materials made from high thermal mass. And they're saying that this is like a quantum leap in affordability. And the fact that you could do it so fast and so cheap, it will help to provide housing for people that don't have the money to have a home. What do you think about this?
That's super dope. That's super dope. And this is the Wild West also because, you know, on one end, with a 3D printer, you can make a gun.
You can make anything.
Yeah, you can go.
You can make you. You
Yeah.
can make a chocolate version of you if you wanted to. Pause.
Why gotta be chocolate, dog? I'm not
just-
chocolate
No,
enough.
like literally a piece of candy.
Oh, like literally
like-
a piece of candy?
Made out of chocolate.
So what does it make, like a wood or a board at a
Any
time?
material.
The pieces?
Any material. Like you put the design in the 3D printer. You say, hey, I want to use this type of material, rubber, chocolate, plastic, whatever it is, and it literally constructs that design.
Do you
out of
plan
the
on
material.
investing in one?
I don't know, man. I don't, because I would say for me, investing in one meaning a 3D printer or investing in a $4,000
3D printer.
I don't know.
Obviously,
I
we're all
don't- I don't know
gonna
what-
all gonna have the future homes one
I don't
day.
know what I would currently use it for. I think it's a dope piece of technology, but I don't know what I would use it for right now today. What about you?
I'm all in. I'm all in. I mean, if it has the right capabilities, I'm not sure right now what I make.
Exactly.
But I'm putting some stuff together.
You're putting some stuff together.
I am.
Well, I think this is a dope story because, I mean, we talk about infrastructure, right? And a lot of countries don't have, like, we'll look at Puerto Rico, for an example. Just went through that crazy hurricane and, like, decimated the island, right? So, like, how can you provide infrastructure to an island of people that are now homeless and don't necessarily have the resources or time to be able to build a house? This is how you do it. $4,000, get it done in less than a day. You have a place to sleep that's warm and that's able to generate electricity and have water.
How big is the printer?
It has to be huge.
So printer is just a term, because when I think printer, I think a paper printer, but
the printer could be literally the size of this laptop, or it could be the size of this room. Like,
so they got one the size of this room, pretty much.
yeah.
Wow.
Sick, right?
Wow.
Yeah, man.
You know, when I hear printer, you know what I think? Printer, you know?
Yeah.
Shooting out papers, 8x11s, you know what I'm saying? But you're like, no, dog. It's the size of the whole room.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty dope. Well, this is a pretty cool story too. Macy's is using virtual reality instead of augmented reality to sell furniture. So they are going to promote to their customers in 50 stores this summer by, like I said, using virtual reality. And so what they plan on doing is you'll be able to have the headset. You go into Macy's, you'll be able to have a headset, and you look into what can be a potential kitchen, family room, living room, and you're able to like literally design the room in the virtual reality space. So you could pick what couch you want, you could pick what chairs you want, what coffee table you want, and literally you could coexist in the environment to see like, hey, this is how it would be in my living room. And then hopefully that would encourage you to buy the furniture. What do you think?
It's not going to work right now.
Why not?
This is poo-poo.
Why?
This is poo-poo.
Tell me why.
Right now, this is poo-poo. This is not going to work.
Why?
Virtual reality hasn't been perfected. I don't
Explain.
want to get a headache while I'm in there, because if I'm designing my house or my living room, I want to take more than 15 minutes. And in 15 minutes with virtual reality, I'm probably getting vertigo. If I'm old enough, I'm probably getting a bloody nose.
Dang.
So, like, come on, dog. Like, you know this isn't the time. This technology
Wait,
is...
so you mean to tell me, dog, honest the truth, you mean to tell me if you could go and literally like design the... You just did it. But you could do it in virtual reality. You could design any room in your house and pick out any type of furniture you wanted and be like, yo, I want to make sure this is right. You're not gonna try that?
Of course I would, but the key thing you said was if, and this technology is
what do you
off.
mean?
So they're going. I don't
course
even
you
want to
would,
say.
but if.
I don't want to say the chicken or the egg, but they're jumping the gun right now.
How?
This isn't ready. It's nothing but a concept. For them to say that they're actually going to go and implement this is ludicrous. Nobody's going to use this right now. Stop wasting their money. It sounds good. It's a scheme to say, hey man, I walked into Macy's and I tried it on virtual reality, and people are going to put on a headset and they're going to take it right off, and they're going to do the same thing they've been doing.
How? And which is what? Shopping out of a
Just
catalog?
shopping out of a catalog, dog, or
I
the
don't
little
believe
storeroom.
it. I believe
You're gonna use this?
I would try it.
You got glasses on right now. You can't see.
I would-
You almost threw up at the car show.
Oh, okay. I would try it, man. I would definitely try it. I mean, but you're not against people using virtual reality to watch an NBA game, though. I'm confused.
I want it to work. There's a big if. I'm just saying it's not the time. So don't play me. Don't get me excited telling me that it's the time, because you're gonna go in and shop the same way. No,
That's
because
not true. That's not true, bro.
dog, I watched you throw up. Almost throw up.
Now you're lying. Put that on your kids.
We both almost fell out. On the kids. You almost fell out when you
No,
came
I
up.
did it. No, I did it.
You're like, hey, whoa,
And hold on.
hey.
Listen, what we experienced was literally like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
This is not what we're talking about here. Don't confuse oranges and apples, bro.
So I take
This
it
is
you ain't
complete-
worn these. You ain't worn these, and you're just talking crazy.
No, I'm not talking crazy.
You've worn the glasses.
I've done virtual reality where I didn't feel like I was getting vertical.
How long were you on?
10 minutes? 15 minutes?
How long do you shop for? You're gonna get your
knows?
living room in 10 minutes,
I might. I picked the materials.
Fact.
Bloop, bloop, bloop,
You
bloop,
are-
bloop, bloop.
no,
I
you're-
picked the
you're the
materials.
rarity, dog.
I picked them. That's your word of the day. I picked the materials, and then I could actually sit on the couch and be like, okay, this is what the space looks like. I'm cool with this.
Let me
get
tell the
that.
folks at home who Achilles Shine is.
Okay, here we
Achilles
go.
Shine is one of the most creative minds that we have ever known on this planet. He's
here
a
we go.
creative genius.
Here we go.
So he's literally, this is like something that works for him. When he steps into a living room and when he steps into any environment, he's already creatively put so when he says 15 minutes, I might be legit. But for me and you who gotta plug and play, put things in, we need more than 15 minutes. It might work for you, dog. I'm rolling with that. For you.
All right, my man. All right now. Anywho, let's get into some pop culture stuff. I want to ask you, my man, because we talked about this a few weeks back. Black Panther, it's almost beating Avatar 5 straight weeks of #1. That's awesome. What do you think about that? First off,
That's so dope, bro.
Dope.
It's
it's sustaining, right?
revolutionary.
Revolutionary. Well, yeah, man. We talk about Wakanda, and this week Marvel announced that the characters will get their own arc in a 3-part comic series, and we're talking about the all-female Special Forces team. So they're going to be able to have their own, what they're calling the Benti trilogy, where it's literally they were going to unpack the all-woman Special Force team. What do you think about that?
Are we talking big screen, or are we going to Netflix? 'Cause
Comics, just comics first.
That's super dope, because that means I get to see you on Netflix. I may see you on the big screen. Like, I'm all for like
Yeah.
Netflix.
Right. I think that would be.
Are we
fresh.
gonna have Chinese Panther soon
Chinese Panther?
or a Spanish Panther?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Are we gonna have different races that maybe aren't the Black Panther series, but that are like superheroes?
I mean, I
is
think-
there an Asian Marvel
I think-
superhero?
I think we have multiple races of other superheroes.
Name me a Spanish hero. I need a Spanish hero,
from
dog.
Marvel.
From Marvel. Mhm.
I'm not really.
We could
hip
probably
to it.
make one, right? A Spanish.
Why
Anybody
don't
could
you
have
go
been.
make one if that's your interest?
It's my interest,
I don't
but it's
think
not
that's
my
really-
passion. Like I'm interested, but it's not my passion.
Then why are you speaking on it?
Because I'm excited. I want to see it.
Why you speaking on it
Sometimes
then?
you speak things into existence.
So-
Facts.
So you want to create that?
It's not my passion, dog. I don't have the passion for it, but I have the interest for it. Don't act like you don't know the difference. Don't act like you don't know the difference.
Anywho, I think it's pretty awesome to have an ensemble representation of female warriors, and how they were looking in the movie was amazing and inspirational. To be able to have that in the comics and to have kids read that, adults read that, everyone read that, I think is very inspiring.
Do you know how Marvel works?
And reflective. I don't know what you mean by that.
Do you know how Marvel works?
How does Marvel work?
Because this had to be broken down to me. So some people may be confused when you see Spider-Man and you see 4 different versions of Spider-Man. And you're like, yo, which is the storyline? Is this? So what Marvel does is they have their storylines.
Yep.
And what they do is they sell their storylines, their characters within their storylines to a production company. So Akili, me and you could create a Marvel movie, but what we would have to do to get those rights, it would have to be in conjunction with the storyline. We can go off, but we can't go all the way off, and it needs to be approved by Marvel. Then we buy the rights, then we use it. So that's how you see different versions of Punisher, different versions of Spider-Man. And it's all, sometimes they all stay together, and sometimes they get mixed all around. And you're like, wait, that didn't happen in the comic book, or that didn't happen here. I don't remember that character. So once it's approved, you can kind of run with it as a creative producer or writer or whatnot. So these Black Panther characters are going to be in line with the Marvel story, but if you have the right producer, he can put his own spin behind it.
Okay.
Are you rolling with me? Or are you looking at me like you already knew this?
I mean, you're really not telling anything new, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, but everybody's not a creative genius.
I appreciate you expressing that.
Everybody's not a creative genius, Akili.
Thank you for giving us the ABCs of how comics get turned into movies.
My man, most of us are ABC level.
I have a question for you. Are you still watching Walking
gosh.
Dead?
No, I'm not.
Why not? Why not?
This is me, bro. This is me. When it comes to Walking Dead, I don't like always feeling like I'm a goal setter, Keely. I'm a prioritizer. I know when I have something I want to reach. I don't like feeling like I keep getting strung along. And I felt
really?
I felt like The Walking Dead was just stringing me along. And it was like, is he gonna die? Is he gonna die? No. Is he gonna die? Is he gonna die? Arr! And I want to accomplish something. And I felt like the show, for me, it wasn't going anywhere.
You want some finality, is what you're saying.
I want finality. I want to win. I'm a champion, dog. I don't like feeling vulnerable. I don't want to be in a bad dream.
So, what TV do you like? So, did you ever watch The Wire?
Yeah.
Sopranos?
Yeah.
Westworld?
Yeah.
Those Game of Thrones?
I need to get into it.
So, I mean, but those shows, multiple seasons.
There's somewhat of a accomplishment. And I hate feeling just scared every corner. Who's going to get me? The zombies. Oh,
So you think
they're chasing us. We need to get to Utah.
You think they stretched it out so much that it's just become whack, is what you're saying?
Who's killing me? Who's the bad guy? Like, I need to know what they got made from. I need to know the science from it, not that they're just, zombie.
No, I feel it.
Zombie.
Well, hey, I actually fell off as well for that very reason. I felt like it became
Wow,
redundant.
so you just gassed me?
No, I want to. You're on the show to give your opinion.
I'm done with you, Brody.
I feel like it's like redundant. Like it's the same like story looped over. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, you're absolutely spot on right with with the narrative needing a little bit more tension or needing some different elements. But I only bring that up because season 5 finale is upon us, and there's words being used like death and explosive and amazing and satisfying, which is kind of like
here, bro.
exactly what we're talking about. So
Look
I'm
here, bro.
wondering, is it worth hopping back into the Walking Dead world to catch up, or is it like you're done? You washed your hands with the series.
You got to give me some science. I'm a geek.
Have you washed your hands?
I would need to start from so far back, dog, that it might not even be worth it, or I would have to get like a crash course or a teaser. I'm down to do it, but I need science. I need to know where they're coming from. I need to know why, other than you get bitten and dambi, you know,
that voice
I
is
need
pretty
something.
awesome. Well, hey, man, I agree with you. I agree with you. However, there are times where I'm like, you know what?
I didn't know you like science.
I want to, you're right. How could I like that? I want to hop back into the world, though. I think I'm going to give it a second chance. But hey, that concludes for today, man.
Are you kidding me?
Concludes our show,
already?
Man. We got to get out, bro.
Till next week, my dude?
Till next week,
dog, that's
my
too
man.
soon, dog.
But I do want to have you tell the people where they can find you.
Listen, those at home, holla at your boy Ryan Hollins on Twitter, at the Ryan Hollins on Instagram, Ryan Hollins. The website, ryan-hollins.com.
Yes, sir.
I need your support. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for looking out for your boy. Tweet me, Instagram me, hit me up. Geek, Nerd, Tech
There
in
it
the
is.
build. Geek, geek.
And all you good people out there, I just want to say thank you for tuning in and watching and listening to us. We appreciate you and for being along the ride with us. You
There's
can
no
find
us
me
without you.
on Instagram and Twitter at AkiliShine, AKILISHINE.
The Don.
And we will see you and talk with you next week. This is Geek Nerd Tech.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.